Hi guys, in this class today we are going to be making this beautiful Oleku Iro And Buba in a very simple way. This is the Ankara fabric that I'm making use of. I have 4 yards of it here and it's one of the African print. Now let's begin. I'm making use of 2 yards for my Iro, which I've already cut out. If you are making it for a plus size person, you can just add an extra 8 inches, 10 inches, 12 inches to 16 inches, depends on how big that person is, but I'm making use of 2 yards for this one I'm making. This is the length of my Iro, as you can see, and this is the width, which is 2 yards of 36 inches. So the length of it is 46 inches as well. So if you want to cut your Iro, just make sure you fold it like so to make it straight on both sides and fold it towards the length. So after folding like this to achieve straight sides, you now start measuring till you achieve the amount of fabric you are needing for your Iro and cut it out. That was how I achieved mine. And now after cutting, I'll go ahead and spread it out for me to stitch both sides. Then you go ahead and double fold the 2 sides with 1.5 inch and stitch from here to this place. I'm doing the same thing on the second side. After which I will now move on to my buba. Here is the fabric for my buba, as you can see. I'll go ahead and measure the amount of fabric I'm needing for my buba out. So the length of my buba is 25 inches. I'm adding 1 into it, making 26 inches. So I'm going to measure out 26 inches on fold now, which is the length of my buba. Just measure it towards the width like this. So I'm measuring out 26 inches and I'm going to fold it into 2, just like this. So after folding, I'm going to cross check the measurement whether I'm on point. After confirming the measurement, I'll go ahead and cut it out. So the remaining one will be for my head tie. I'm going to put it aside and continue with my buba and the sleeves. Here is the 26 inches on fold for the length of my buba. So to know the width of my buba, I'm going to use my hip measurement. My hip measurement is 40 inches. I'm adding 8 inches extra to it. That 8 inches is include both seam and ease allowance. So it's 48 inches divided by 4. I'm going to divide it by 4. That will give me 12 inches. I'm folding 12 inches now for the width of my buba. Hope you understand. If you have any question, you can just leave it in the comment section. I'll gladly answer your questions. So after getting that 12 inches, I'll go ahead and cut it out. Now after cutting, this is what I have. I'm putting this one aside for my sleeves. So this is the width of my buba and this is the length of it. So from my shoulder here, I'm going to come down by 4 inches for my neck depth and 3 inches for my neck width. If you want your own to be wider than this, you can just add to your measurement. So I'll go ahead and connect. After connecting, I'm going to cut it out. And make sure you notch the shoulder to serve as a guide while sewing. So after cutting, this is what I have. Let's move on to the sleeve. Here's the fabric for my sleeve, as you can see. I have here 26 inches folded into 2 for the length of this fabric, if you remember. I'm going to measure out 10 inches for the length of my sleeve, adding 1 inch seam allowance to it and 2 inches hemming allowance. And the width of my sleeve is going to be 11 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. So I'm going to fold it into 2 like this, making into 4 fold. Then I'll go ahead and measure 12 inches by 13 inches out and cut. After cutting, I'll go ahead and notch my shoulder, fold my hemming allowance as well, and notch to serve as a guide for me while sewing. And I'll go ahead and cut out my rope that I'm attaching to my wrapper from the remaining fabric. Now let's move on to the sewing aspect. So here is my rope for the wrapper. I have 2 pieces. Here's the wrong side of it. So I'll go ahead and pick one, fold it like so, let the right side face each other, and stitch from here to here with 1/2 inch. I'm doing the same thing on the second rope. So here is my sleeve, and this is the right side of the sleeve. Here is the wrong side of it. Here is the second one. I'm just trying to fish out the wrong side. So now I'll pick one like this. You know, I have notch here on both sides. I'll just fold it, double fold it with 2 inches that I added for my hemming allowance, and stitch, top stitch from here to here. I'm doing the same thing on the second sleeve. As for my buba, I will go ahead and use my bias tape to hem the neckline all round. Open it up like so and hem the neckline all round. Now I'm done with all that I explained. As you can see, here is my wrapper. I've hemmed it on both sides. So after hemming, I'll go ahead and fold it once on the upper part and the down part, and stitch from this edge to this edge. After doing so, I will take my rope. This is my ropes. I've already turned this one inside out. I used my screwdriver to do so. So let me work on the one that I've already turned inside out, which is this one. So I'll go ahead and stitch, place it on the wrong side of my wrapper here, on this side. Just place it like so and stitch with 1/2 inch like this. After stitching, let me use pen to hold it down for you guys to understand. So after stitching with 1/2 inch like so, I'm going to fold it like this to give it good finishing, and top stitch here on the edge here. So I'm doing the same thing on the second side of it. And here is my sleeve. As you can see, I've hemmed the bottom of my sleeve. This is the second one. I've hemmed the bottom as well, as you can see. Now this is the right side of it. I'm going to fold it into 2 like so and stitch from here to this place with 1 inch. I'm doing the same thing on the second sleeve. This is my buba. Like I said, I've used my bias tape to hem the neckline all round. So guys, this is my wrapper. As you can see, I've finished with all that I explained. I've hemmed both the upper part and the down part of it, and I've attached my rope to it. Look how neat and beautiful it is. So let's move on to the buba. Here is my buba, and this is my 2 sleeves. I've already stitched the sides of my sleeve like I said, and I'm turning it to the right side. Now this is my buba. As you can see, here is the wrong side and this is the right side of it, and I have a notch here on my shoulder. So I'll take one out of my sleeve and place it like this. You know, I have notch on my sleeve as well. I'm going to let the notch align on each other like so, and stitch from this notch from the shoulder here to my side seam on the sleeve with 1 inch. Now I'm done stitching like I said with 1 inch from the notch here till the side seam of my sleeve. Now I'll go ahead and turn it like so for me to stitch it on the second side. Just stitch from the shoulder here till you reach the side seam of the sleeve. And I'm going to do the same thing on the second sleeve. Now I'm done stitching both sleeves, as you can see, and this is it on the right side. It's very nice and beautiful. So now I'll go ahead and turn it to the wrong side for me to stitch it on both sides. So now from the bottom here, I'm going to measure 5 inches upward for my side opening. And from my armpit here, I'm going to measure 1 inch downward to meet this line and stitch on it. I'm doing the same thing on the second side. Now I'm done stitching both sides, as you can see, and this is the opening of that 5 inches. So what I'm going to do now is to just turn it to the right side for me to hem both sides on the bottom. Now to hem both sides, I'll go ahead and open it up like so, double fold it like so, and start top stitching from here through this place like so. Let me use chalk to explain to you guys. Just double fold it and start stitching like so, go across like this till you reach the second part like this. I'm doing the same thing on the second side. Now I'm done hemming both sides, as you can see. So I'll go ahead and double fold the bottom and hem like so. I'm going to do the same thing here, after which I'll come and show you the finishing look of it on the mannequin. Here is the finishing look of it on the mannequin. If you find this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel to support my channel. If you have any question pertaining to cutting and sewing, you can join me on my Facebook group, Details to Sewing, created by Akurede Adenike. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Akurede Adenike. Please show some love by liking and following my page on Facebook at Aniki Culture. Until I see you in my next video, guys, stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.